If your shoulders, neck, and upper back feel stiff and achy, especially as you get older, you've clicked the right video. So as men over 50, we want to stay active, whether that's golf or tennis or just moving without pain. But those tight trapezius muscles can sneak up on you, making everything from driving to sleeping feel uncomfortable. So this session includes 3 sets of yoga postures to ease the tension in the neck, shoulders, and upper back. But here's a twist. Sometimes that stiffness isn't just muscle tightness. It could be a hidden postural imbalance. And that's where things get interesting. So let's make a start with this little yoga practice to help ease the neck, the shoulders, and upper back, all the trapezius muscles. So first of all, I think start nice and gentle. And I quite like to just swing my head from side to side as if you're making a little smile shape with the head. And as you move from each side, just make sure the shoulders are releasing down. And you probably feel this right into the shoulders, into the neck. Just wherever you can, just get some little bit of sensation, a little bit of feeling there, just to make an assessment of where that stiffness is. And sometimes it's quite nice to just bring the hands behind the back as well. And this helps to bring the shoulders backwards and downwards a bit more. And you might get a stronger feeling there, but just be with it, closing the eyes. And this is the kind of thing that you can just do on its own whenever you've got a moment or two. So you can do that for as long as you like. And just going to move on by simply rotating the head round. So it's a bit as if you've got a crayon strapped to the top of the head, and the crown of the head is moving up towards the ceiling, and you're drawing a circle on the ceiling. So we're going to go one way. I'm going anti-clockwise at the moment. And then we can just go the other way. So tendency sometimes if you're feeling stiff is that you don't move too much. You don't move. And I think movement and mobility is really important when it comes to counteracting any achiness and stiffness in the body. And then we're going to just place the hands, the fingertips on the shoulders. And let's circle those elbows round. So again, it's introducing a little bit of mobility, this time into the shoulders. And we can start with small circles. And then eventually maybe the elbows will come towards each other, maybe even touch if you're flexible enough. And open at the back, so really opening the chest and opening the shoulder blades. So feeling into this. Again, I'd always encourage you to close the eyes to really tune into what is happening inside the body. And then we can rotate those elbows the other way around. So we start small. How does that feel? And coordinate this movement with the breath as well. So inhale as you're opening up. Exhaling as you're releasing and contracting. So just open the chest and then release. So bigger and bigger movements. How does that feel? Okay. And then let's just release the shoulders. I quite like jumping up and down a few times to release the shoulders. If it doesn't feel too good for you, then obviously don't do it, or don't be as vigorous with it. And let's just move in the hips around. So today's practice is about the neck, shoulders, and upper back, but we can just do a little bit of movement in other parts of the body too, because the body is connected, don't forget. So this gentle movement really gets into the lower back and the hips. I can feel it in my hip joints. And again, you can go as big or as small with these movements as you like. So we move one way and then we move around the other way. It doesn't take much, but you can really feel it happening. Maybe you can do this while the kettle's boiling, if you don't want to include it in a full practice. And then shaking off the body. And from here, what I'm going to do is we're going to stand nice and tall, feet are hip width apart. And then let's just bring the arms up. Let's just see how far those arms can come up. So reaching up towards the ceiling. And if they don't come up that high, then it's just a little bit lower, or maybe you can be more comfortable with the arms folded. But the main thing is see if you can move the arms back as far as you can. And this is all about exploring this range of movement. So we're exploring the range of movement in our own bodies. We're not trying to get anywhere. We're not trying to get into some postures which are uncomfortable for us. So whichever position you're in, and just with the arms, just bringing the feet together. And then we're just going to sway from side to side. Lifting up through the chest, lifting up through the crown of the head. So see how this feels. Experiment with this. Maybe the palms can come together. Maybe the arms can just be in a surrender position. We're just exploring this. Don't dismiss it straight away. Give it a go. And then you could always come back. Again, shaking off the body. And we're going to do this opening now in the shoulder blade and the top of the arm. So I'm going to just bring that right arm across the chest and hold it in with the left hand. So again, noticing where this is, how you feel. If there's any tightness, if there's any opening, how does this feel in the shoulder? And then we're going to go on to the other side. So bringing that other arm across and then gently holding it in, exploring how that feels in the shoulder and the upper back. And just giving the legs and arms a bit of a shake off. So we're going to bring the right arm out to the side now, and you can see that my palm is facing upwards, the thumb is back, placing the opposite hand on that shoulder. And then we're going to release the ear down to the opposite shoulder to the arm. So keeping that shoulder releasing down. And then we're going to look down towards the floor and then up towards the ceiling. Down towards the floor and up towards the ceiling. So just do that a few times. Again, just noticing how that feels in the neck, all the way down into the shoulder. Breathing. The eye closed if that helps. And then we're going to release that arm. And then coming all the way down to the other side. So left arm out to the side. Opposite hand supporting that shoulder. The opposite shoulder releases. And then the ear comes down. So feeling that lovely opening on that left hand side. So breathing in as you're looking up. Exhale as you look down. Feeling into that shoulder, just taking a little bit of time out Just make this like a little meditation. So we're not trying to get into any weird and wonderful posture, remember. We're simply exploring the body. How does the body feel? Where is there tightness? Where is there openness? Let's see if we can just restore a little bit of balance in the body. And then release from there. And you could use the fingertips to bring the head to an upright position. And just shake that off. We're going to go a little bit deeper now. So the first time round, we explored this little move, which is the kind of thing that you'd probably see in a gym, just a little bit of a stretch off. And you can do this again if you wanted to. But if you want to make it a little bit stronger, what we're going to do is we're going to come into a posture. It's known as this eagle arms, actually. And we're going to bring the arms out to the side, nice and wide, opening through the chest. And then bringing that right arm on top of the left. So right arm on top of the left. Elbows cross as far across as they'll go. And you can see I'm able to sort of give my shoulder a little bit of a massage as well there. And then we can bring those forearms into an upright position. So you can see my forearms. I'm peeping through my arms at you. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. The forearms moving forward. And you can really feel this strongly in the shoulders, maybe. If you want to make it a bit stronger, then you can find the bind. Some people can actually bring their palms together into a prayer position. Or you can hold onto the wrist. And just releasing the shoulders down, elbows up, forearms moving forwards. And really feel this. And if you've got a mirror, it's always good to just check in that mirror that you've got equal height on those shoulders. So we don't want one shoulder to be totally out of balance to the other. And you can have a little bit of softness in the knees. So this is really nice. And if you wanted to move this on a little bit more, we can come down into this little mini squat or chair posture, Utkatasana. If you want to get the legs involved. What this session is all about, really, the neck and shoulders and upper back. And then release from there. So just remember we've had the right arm on top of the left. And yoga is all about balance. So we're going to come on to the other side in a few moments. But first of all, let's just do this little movement where we're going to roll the shoulders back. Rolling the shoulders back. Feels good. So if you've got stiff shoulders due to driving or gardening or whatever, what else do people do? Hunched over a computer. Or if you just got stiff shoulders, it doesn't have to be a reason for it. And this little sequence is very good to open them up, and you can hopefully see that we're now rotating the shoulders around the other direction now. So it's all about balance, pose and counter pose. And then just giving the body a little bit of a shake out. I'm a big fan of shaking the body out. And this time we're going to bring the left arm over the right. So arms nice and wide. Put up through the chest, lifting the sternum towards the ceiling, just because you can. And then it's left arm over right. Elbows go as far across as they'll go. You can give yourself a little bit of a massage with into the shoulder blades if you wanted to. And then the forearms come up. And that is absolutely fine to stay there like that. And if you wanted to, you could find the bind, hold it onto the wrist, or hands in prayer position, depends how flexible you are. But the shoulders release down, the elbows actually releasing up, and the forearms moving forward. Just finding a position where you can feel the maximum openness. This might be a bit challenging, but we're just exploring, remember. We're just seeing how it is. That's really nice. Opening up through the shoulders. Oh my word. I didn't realize how much I needed this, but I did do a weights workout the other day. So that probably explains a little bit of stiffness in my shoulders. And again, you could come into a little squat position. If that works for you, making sure there's equal weight distribution, right side, left side of the body, front and the back of the feet, tailbone tucked under. And then let's release that. Oh my word. So then again, coming into this little sequence where we're just going to move the shoulders a few times one way and move them a few times the other way. And the final little bit of a sequence we're going to try now is we're going to eventually come down into a ragdoll forward bend. But first of all, we're going to interlink the fingers, making a fist, and then pressing that double fist down. So bringing the shoulders backwards and downwards. Keeping the knees bent, always keep the knees bent in this position. And fold forward, folding forward. Letting the head release. And then keeping the fingers together, but you can just let the arms come out and open right over. So letting the head hang loose. Oh my word, this is nice. Head hang loose, so you got the traction on the neck through the weight of the head. The shoulders are opening. And eventually, in 100 years or so, those hands will be touching the floor in front of the body. But for now, be happy where they are. Breathing in and out. So any of these postures I quite like to hold for about 5 breaths or 30 seconds worth. And then just gently lower the arms down onto the back. And once the arms are onto the back, release the fingers and the arms release down. And we're in this ragdoll forward bend. So knees are bent. Nothing to do with the hamstrings. It's all about the back and releasing through the shoulders. Letting the head hang loose. And then just hanging around here. Going to do a figure of 8 movement. Dragging the knuckles on the floor. This figure of 8, and then we're going to come around the other way. So this helps to release the shoulders and also the lower back. And eventually coming into stillness. And to come out of this, we're going to engage the thighs, the glutes, pelvic floor, lower abdomen, and lift, keeping the chin tucked in. And eventually, kind of release the chin up. One thing I should say though, that if you do suffer from stiff neck and shoulders, it's always worth checking out your posture. I'll get somebody else to check out the posture, either your partner or a friend. Even I could consider going to see a physio who's got expertise in biomechanics, because how we hold ourselves all the time does have a big impact on how our body feels. So it's worth definitely checking that out. So you've just unlocked 3 simple sets of yoga postures to release your shoulders, neck and upper back and keep yourself moving pain-free. But to go deeper, check out this session which will help you develop mobility in all the major joints of your body. And it only takes 15 minutes.